Okay. On today's episode of the Comics Panel, Jeremy came back to share another story.
Oh, sorry. I'll call you later. That Laura Croft.
You know a lot of people, don't you?
Well, we wore the same outfit to a party once, and it got a little awkward. But ever since then, we've been kind of on and off dating.
Okay. So.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I just need to moisture up.
So I hear you have this story about your one good friend
Right.
you'd like to share with us.
This is a good story on account of it's true, even if it doesn't sound like it's true. That's what's so great about it.
Those are the best ones.
So many people who know me, or if you follow me on Instagram, you know a dear friend of mine is Andy Dick, who, all of his faults aside, and a lot of people, if you haven't been under a rock for the last 20 years, know probably about Andy's history.
I've pretty much been under a rock. I know him, but yeah.
But he's the fact of the matter is he's a comic genius, and he's a great person, and a great friend, and a great comedian. And any sense. Okay, so this story falls on November or December of last year, so close to a year ago. I was over at his house. Him and his daughter Meg and I were about to watch Lion. Did you see the movie Lion?
I don't think so.
It was nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture. It was Oscar season, because Oscars are in February.
Yeah.
And we were trying to catch up on the Oscar movies, her and I. So we were going to watch Lion. One night, anyways. And so we're about to watch it, and in storms Andy from wherever he was, and says, "Hey," that's my Andy impression. "Hey, you guys want to go meet Machine Gun Kelly?" Machine Gun Kelly is this pretty famous rapper. Okay. I'm not a big fan of rap, but I know him. I know who he is.
Yeah, it's lost.
And I guess he also recently started doing some acting. He was in the show Roadies, which is a really good show on Showtime.
Was he in a movie with Steven Seagal?
I don't think so.
Okay, that would have been like perfect. But
Steven
anyway, go ahead.
Seagal and Machine Gun Kelly side by side, kicking ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, so apparently Andy knows Machine Gun Kelly, and he was DJing at a local club that was nearby in a place called Echo Park, California, and the place was called the Echoplex. And I didn't care to meet him, so I was like, not really. I'd rather stay here and watch Lion and then go to bed. But Meg was very excited to meet him. She's like, yeah. So, okay, whatever. So we all pile in a car, Andy and Meg and Meg's boyfriend and myself. And we drive to the Echoplex. And right away, pretty cool because you get to go right in. There's a long line down the block and around the block. We go right in. We're with Andy. Then Andy's looking how we can get backstage. Where's the backstage door? And this one guy goes, well, you need to get a wristband, an orange wristband or whatever, and then such and such. And then this other security guard's like, no, it's Andy. Just, okay. So Andy's like, these are my friends. They're coming too. Okay, whatever. So we all go backstage. Then we're on stage while Machine Gun Kelly is DJing. There were some other people there too, I guess friends of his or whatever. And there's a big, it's not like a concert or anything. It's just a bunch of people like raving and dancing to him DJing music on there. And there's some other people on stage. We go and join him on stage and we're like dancing or whatever to whatever he's doing. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to take a break. I'll be back out later, intermission, whatever he said, after like a song or two. So he leaves, and he's like, Andy, come on. So we all go backstage. Like, we were on stage at that moment. We go backstage, and there's music still playing. He's just not DJing anymore. So there's still, like, really loud music playing, but he's taking a break. So we go backstage, and we're all talking backstage, and he introduces me to Machine Gun, Andy. He's like, this is my daughter, Meg, and Jeremy, and such. Very nice guy, very friendly. So we're all talking, having a conversation or whatever. Machine Gun's like, how have you been? Machine Gun's like, how you been? I guess that's what you call him. Kelly? I don't know what he wants.
Mr. Kelly.
Mr. Kelly. And so we're all talking. Fine time. I'm having an okay time. I still would have liked to have watched Lion, but ended up seeing it afterwards. Great movie. But so we're all talking, and you think that maybe you're thinking this is the end of the story, but it gets so much worse. We're all talking, and at some point, after maybe 15, 20 minutes, a large black... I'm not racist.
I never said you were.
I'm just describing the event. A large black security guard came over and comes right up to me. Now, again... I repeat, there was still loud music playing, so no one could hear that. He's like this close to me, so no one could really hear this conversation. They're all talking, and I was part of the conversation until this guy came up to me, and they can't really hear what we're discussing. But he comes up to me and goes, "Where's your wristband?" And I'm like, "I don't have one." And he's like, "You need a wristband." And I was like, "Chill, man. I'm with these guys." Like, literally the star of the show, why everybody's there, and Andy Dick. I'm like, I'm here. It's cool. Doesn't matter. You need a wristband. I'm like, I wish you would shut up.
Did you say that to him? Okay.
I was like, no. I was like, it's okay. Don't worry. Like, I'm just like, please get away is what I'm trying to say. And then he just like stands there for a while, and I'm like trying to be a part of the conversation again. And then you need a wristband. And I'm like, calm down, bro. And
you said bro?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
that might be misinterpreted, but anyway.
Well, it was misinterpreted.
Apparently.
Because I ended up in a headlock being dragged out of the backstage area in a headlock by this guy. And of course, at that moment, everybody else notices. So Andy looks over. He's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, and even he's like, "Stop!" Andy's trying to pull him off of me. That's not happening.
I recall him being a tiny little man.
Tiny and skinny. And Meg's like, "What the?" And even Machine Gun Kelly, who I met 15 minutes prior, was like, he's with me, And this guy didn't care. At this point, he has a personal vendetta against me. He doesn't care if the star of the show is he's with me. He's still dragging me out. So we get out of the backstage area, out of the venue as a whole. So the premises has like an outdoor patio type of area that's still considered the Echoplex, like where people go to smoke or drink or whatever. So we weren't off the premises yet, but we were outside of the venue, and they started following me. A lot of people, when I tell this story, they're like, so what? Andy just stayed inside? I'm like, no, they started following me, but you have to remember it was crowded. Mm-hmm. So this security guard, being a security guard, was able to get through the crowd, but then Andy's like, So they were trying to come out, but so we get out, and this is where it gets even better. He says to me, the security guard, when we get off outside, that wasn't so difficult. And at this point, I'm very sick of his cocky attitude. So I elbow him in the face.
Oh, no, you...
And he flies backwards because I elbow him so hard. So finally my chokehold is released. He flies backwards. I turn around, and he's laying on the ground, like kind of on steps, because there were steps, and with a bloody nose. And he's kind of like wiping the blood. And in my mind, I said, "Oh no." But what actually came out of my mouth was, and he's like, "Oh," like that. I guess that noise somebody makes when they're about to beat the shit out of you.
Usually a bull makes that noise right before he charges you. But go ahead.
So he gets up, And this is the point of the story where I like to specifically state that I am not a fighter in any way. I'm a out of shape male who has no experience except a little bit of Tai Chi in college. And I don't claim to be a good fighter, but I believe with the adrenaline and the heat of the moment, I picked up a few skills because he swung at me and I was able to dodge it. And then I retaliated by punching him very hard in the gut. So now he's toppled over in a not a way like I've defeated him, but in a way of, oh, my stuff. Like I ate too many chalupas. And I say, for some reason, also I've never been in a fight before, much less a fight with a security guard. So when he's toppled over, when I've dodged his punch and punched him and he's bent over, for some reason my irrational, never been in a fight, young, a little high mind said, oh, fight's over. Like, success. So I casually start walking away, like not running away like I should have been. I just casually start walking away, and before long I feel a grip on my shoulder which spins me around, and then a very forceful punch to the face that knocks my glasses off.
So these are new glasses
onto
then.
the ground. These are the same glasses, believe it or not.
Good.
They could have been new glasses because after the punch, I was put back in a headlock to continue being dragged off the premises, and I was trying to reach for my glasses on the ground because at the very least, if I lost a fight, I wanted to keep my expensive glasses. He was not caring. He kept dragging me away. I'm like, ah! And so luckily, there were several spectators of this incident, and luckily one of them was nice enough to pick them up for me and give them to me as I was being dragged away. So then we get to the actual outside of the premises where I'm thrown onto the sidewalk and told to get the stay out. And
like in those words?
I think so.
Holy, like 1945. But anyway, go ahead.
And then he leaves. Finally, Andy comes crawling out with everybody. No Machine Gun Kelly. I guess he had to go back on stage. But Andy and everybody else comes running out. Andy's, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I guess I didn't have a wristband, but neither did any of you. And I know you're Andy Dick, but Meg is Meg. And Brandon, her boyfriend, nobody had a wristband. Why did he pick on me? I just didn't understand it. And so I had a black eye for a while. And my glasses are surprisingly okay, although I did just get new glasses while I've been home on this trip. And they should arrive on Wednesday, but that's not important. The point is, I was very just upset about the situation, even though I got a couple good punches in. It was very, like, I don't usually like authority in general to a sense, which is perhaps why I've chosen the career of stand-up comedy where I'm my own boss and such. And I especially don't like authority that abuses their authority and just picks on me for no reason and likes to be a dick. Yeah. So I was very shooken up about it, in not a sense of, oh, I just got my ass kicked, in a sense of it made me angry. And he's like trying to console me, and he's like, anyways, we drive home, and then I drive home from his place. And I remember getting a call later that night from Andy. I'm like, okay, so I answer it. Hey, buddy, just checking in. Just checking up on you, seeing how you're doing. I was like, well, I guess I'm okay. I kind of calmed down a bit. Yeah, well, that's happened to me like 35 times. So I went, and I was like, yeah, but that's you. I was like, I'm little me, and not little me, but I'm me, and I don't do that stuff usually. And so I'm so sorry if it happening to you 36 times doesn't console me. But anyways, so, and now I'm not invited back to the Echoplex ever again. I'm not allowed in there.
Really? Seriously not allowed? Really?
It has been my experience after trying to go back once that I am not allowed.
Well, that's holding a grudge. That's just rude.
Although I don't really have a purpose to go back there. I never would have stepped foot on the grounds if it wasn't for Andy forcing us to go see Machine Gun Kelly, who I didn't give a hoot about. Not that he's not a nice guy, but otherwise I have no purpose to go. It's a club, and I don't really go to clubs, and I don't like rap, and I don't like DJs, and there's no real need for me to go there. And I think the point of the story is, that if you have the opportunity to stay home and watch Lion, you should just stay home and watch Lion, which is all I really wanted to do that night. Not get beat up by a security guard and banned from the premises.
There you go.
So that's the story.
That's kind of funny.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so if you like our show and you want to leave a comment, there's a box right down below. Tell us about the fights you might have been in, and or not have been in.
Tell us about your Andy Dick experiences,
or your Andy Dick experiences.
Because apparently everybody has one of those.
Like,
there's a whole website called Your Andy Dick Experience where people talk about.
Really?
Yeah, because he has a habit of like going to the bars and getting really drunk.
Experience.
But you're here.
Yeah, you're right. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I just want to give Jeremy a little piece of advice while he's flashing in my face. Do you remember the old cartoons, like when the like Scooby-Doo would jump up and his legs would go and it would go tickle, 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 tickle?
Yeah.
Next time you punch someone in the gut, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Don't stick around.
Now I know from experience that you shouldn't casually stroll away.
No.
As if you just packed up your blanket from the beach and are walking back to the car.
No.
After you've punched a security guard in the gut who is much bigger and stronger than you are.
There you go. All right. Have a good night.
Thanks for tuning in.